It is already week 9 of fantasy hockey. We're almost at the halfway point, which is crazy to say. Mike is away this week, so I'm going to be covering our must-add players. I'm going to cover goaltenders, defensemen, and forwards in depth, and guys that you need to be adding to your lineup in order to bolster your roster and improve your team for the rest of the fantasy hockey season. So these are going to be your week 9 must-add players. As Mike likes to say, sit back, relax, and enjoy the content. Starting us off is going to be our forward ads. Ken Johnson continues to be over a point a game player. 7 games played, 10 points on the season with 4 goals, 6 assists. He's back after coming off of injuries, got 4 power play points, playing a well over 18 minutes time on ice. He's skating line 2 and getting power play 1 time. Guys, even if you're in like a deep 12-man league, this guy is going to pay dividends going forward. He's been an offensive gem so far this season. He definitely lacks a little bit in the peripherals, but the production that he's scoring at right now, you absolutely must add this guy to your lineup. Multiple multi-point games over the course of the season so far. Small sample size, but he's been great. He's been well over 18 minutes average time on ice, like I said. Absolute must add. Connor Garland, speaking of guys that have really just come into the fold recently, he's playing line 3, but he is skating on that top power play unit. He's been shuffled around just a little bit with Brock Besser coming back into the lineup, but he's still getting well over 19 minutes average time on ice over the last 5 games. And during his last 5 games, he's got 6 points, 16 shots, and 3 power play points. The Canucks are really starting to click. I'm not worried at all that he's skating on the third line because he's getting that power play 1 exposure. He's got a good shot volume on top of that, and he has been moved around the lineup recently, so it is possible that he does get shuffled back and forth between the top 6 and that third line. Not worried about that at all as long as his average time on ice continues. I'm just loving what I'm seeing out of the production and the shot volume from Garland so far. Yegor Sharangovich is back, guys. Center, right wing eligible. Right off the bat, you get a dual eligible player at a premium position at right wing. He's only 26% rostered. He's now skating on line 2 and power play 1. In his last 5 games, he's got 3 goals and 5 points with 3 power play points and 20 shots. The shot volume has been great. Multiple games where he's had 7 shots. This guy's an absolute must add. I'm looking to add him into your roster just because of, number 1, the position in which he's playing in Calgary. He's getting consistent top 6 minutes now, especially coming back off of injury. He looks like he's picking up right where he left off last season in terms of his goal scoring and shot volume prowess. Dual eligible, absolute gem. I would be looking to add this guy in 12 to 14 team leagues. For some of you really deep league players, Trevor Zegras is maybe starting to come to fruition here. He's the line 1 power play 1, skating well over 17 minutes average time on ice, and he's got 6 points in his last 5 games with 14 shots. We always knew that Zegras had the talent to be around a point a game player. He hasn't shown it. Maybe this is a season that he's pulled up his socks a little bit, started to play more of a two-way game. We've seen that in the first half of the season where he's kind of struggled early on again, but now it looks like it's really starting to come into the fold. So if you're in a deep league roster, I think this guy is definitely worth an add for the potential production that you could get moving forward for the rest of the season, and a 10% own, good value right there. Connor Zary is another great deep league option. I know Sharangovich I talked about again on the Calgary Flames, but Zary's playing line 1 power play 1 at the center position right now, seeing over 16 minutes, close to 17 minutes time on ice. In his last 5 games, he has 4 points and 3 power play points. Again, for a deep league player, somebody that you're able to get top 6 minutes alongside line 1 and power play 1 exposure, skating alongside Jonathan Huberdeau, I think this is a great option, especially if you have space in your deeper leagues. He's 5% owned. Again, 12 to 14 team leagues and deeper leagues on top of that. He should be a great option at 5% owned. Dual eligibility as well, so you can easily fit him into your lineup. And like I said, skating line 1, power play 1, you want to grab these guys while they're at low ownership if you're in deeper leagues. Pavel Dorofeev is right back on that top line in Vegas, skating alongside Jack Eichel and Ivan Barbashev. He's line 1, and he's getting power play 1 time on top of that with over 1730 average time on ice over the last 4 games. He's got 3 goals, so his goal scoring is continuing on, and the shot volume as well at 14 shots on goal in those last 5 games, along with 4 blocks, which is a nice little chip in here and there. But again, we know Dorofeev is a great goal scoring and shot volume option. 22% rostered if you're looking for goals, and if goals are weighted a lot heavier in your leagues, highly recommend grabbing him. Also gets you dual eligibility in the wing position alongside that, so if you count that is an added bonus. Victor Olofsson is coming back off of IR and off of his AHL conditioning stint. He was line one at the start of the season where he had 3 goals in 4 games with 11 shots. I'm speculative about this ad, but I think he's a good option in deeper leagues if you want to take a chance. He should be playing top 6 minutes in Vegas. I'm curious to see how they fit him into the lineup going forward, but we do know that he was skating a line one at the beginning of the year. So again, speculative ad, not sure where he's going to end up right now, especially with guys like Dorofeev and Barbashev having great years on that top line with alongside Jack Eichel. But again, very speculative ad. He's worth a look in deeper leagues for sure. William Eklund has been fantastic for the San Jose Sharks. He's playing line 1 and getting power play 2 time. Close to 20 minutes a night. This guy's playing in all situations, 24 games on the year so far for him. He's played the full season. He's got 20 points. So close to a point a game player, and we've seen this consistently over the course of the last 24 games. So again, really good sample size on that. 39 shots on goal is pretty solid, as well as 17 blocks and roughly the same hit volume, but he's skating top line with Macklin Celebrini and Fabian Zetterlund. So again, don't be worried about the bad team fallacy. Eklund's been fantastic at 32% owned. The only reason why I didn't include him in my main forward ads is simply because he's getting power play 2 time and doesn't really do much in terms of the hit volume, but his shot volume has been great, and he doesn't really score too much either, which is really the main concern if you count scoring being higher in your leagues, which most leagues typically do for points leagues, but in category leagues, this guy's an absolute gem. So highly recommend looking at Eklund as well going forward. Moving on to defenseman, Owen Power has been fantastic, specifically at even strength. He's tied second amongst all defensemen in even strength points on the season, getting a ton of ice time, skating well over 20 minutes throughout the course of the season. In his last 22 games, he has 15 points, all 15 of those points coming from even strength alongside 38 goals, 36 blocks. This puts him at close to a 60-point pace for Owen Power. We're seeing a massive breakout season from him, and if he can start chipping in on the second power play unit, he is going to be an absolute must-add, and I recommend you guys grab him right now if you need a defenseman. He's already at 39% owned, but you're going to see that potentially even go up to 60% if he continues to start chipping in on the power play. He's been great so far this season. Wanted to give him some love. If only he could start playing on that top power play unit, but unfortunately that is locked up by Rasmus Dahlin. But we're seeing a breakout year out of Owen Power. Owen Zellweger has been fantastic in Anaheim, especially as of late. 23% owned. He's now skating on that top power play unit. In his last 6 games, he's played well over 19 minutes average time on ice with 6 points, 2 power play points, 13 shots, 6 hits, and 8 blocks. So he's getting you a hit a game, pretty much over a block a game, 2 power play points, and he's hovering around a point a game in his last 6 games played. Definitely worth an add if you're looking to add a power play 1 defenseman. The Ducks are starting to come around offensively, but I think this guy is a great option. You're getting power play 1 exposure, and you're getting some decent shot volume and peripherals to go alongside of it. Dmitry Orlov, he has 11 points in his last 15 games played. He's playing over 19 minutes average time on ice. I think he's worth a speculative ad right now. You're not really getting too much in terms of power play exposure because he doesn't play on either power play. And he's just pretty much, doing his thing. I don't know how consistently the scoring will come, but at 35% rostered, if he's available, if you want somebody that is chipping in consistently in terms of points, which he has been, he's known for doing this in the past as well. I think he's worth a speculative ad, especially if you need a defenseman. Dante Fabro, since getting picked up by the Columbus Blue Jackets, has been playing a ton of minutes. In his last 7 games since he's been picked up, he's played close to 22 minutes, 21.42 average time on ice to be exact. He's got 4 points in those 7 games with 11 shots and 11 hits. If you're in a deeper league, I highly recommend picking this guy up. If he's going to play this much and be close to 22 minutes a night, get you, good production and peripherals alongside that, absolutely worth an ad. I wish he was getting some power play exposure. Even if it's power play 2, that would be great. But for right now, it looks like he's just playing on that top pair alongside Zach Werenski. So you're getting exposure to a potential Norris Trophy defenseman for this season. Werenski has been phenomenal. So again, he's one of those guys that just seems to potentially be riding alongside coattails of a really elite defenseman, which is fine at 8% owned, especially if you're in a deeper league. And then Philip Broberg is back off of IR. He is skating. He is in a non-contact jersey. The plan is for him to be back on Saturday, pending any major change. He's going to be a pair 2 and power play 1, which is what we saw at the beginning of the season where he saw his success in St. Louis. In those 12 games, he played well over 19 minutes average time on ice. He had 2 goals and 7 assists in those first 12 games. So hopefully he can get back on that same pace. And that would be, again, another great deep league ad for you guys at only 17% roster. Finally, working our way to goaltenders, David Rittich continues to be a staple in LA. Kemper's still on IR. He's going to be pretty much starting every game except for back-to-backs. Eric Portillo is the backup currently in LA, so I'm assuming he's just going to get those back-to-backs. And Rittich has been phenomenal. In only one of his last 8 games, he's had over 2 goals against. So just let that sink in for a bit. He's been one of the better goalies over the course of the last month or so, just with a Kemper going down. I think he's worth a great amount of value at a short term. I think you could honestly even sell high on this guy potentially, knowing that Kemper, potentially will be back. Or if you want to hold on to him, if you're a Kemper owner, I have both in one of my leagues. I've just been riding out Rittich as long as I possibly can with Kemper being out, but he only 27% roster. This guy needs to be added immediately. Peter Mrazek, news came out that Laurent Brossoit is out for another 6 weeks, so he is going to be seeing a ton of volume. He's great when it comes to points leagues, especially due to his volume. He's going to get you a ton of saves. He won't win a lot. His goaltending stats won't always be pretty, but he's going to get you a ton of points given how many shots he faces. And he's been relatively solid in net. He hasn't been so bad that you can't roster him. It's just the fact that Chicago won't be winning a lot of games moving forward. Joonas Korpisalo, Mike talked about him and Vejmelka last week. He's had 3 of the last 6 possible starts, one of which was a back-to-back, and he's won 4 of his last 5. So I think it's very possible Mike was bang on by saying that Boston could go to more of a 50-50 split, especially with the way that Swayman has been over the last little bit, him not fully being up to speed in terms of what you'd expect out of him. Korpisalo has really been able to come in and steal some games for Boston, who desperately need to get going if they have a chance of making the playoffs. 20% rostered. I think he's definitely worth an ad from a goaltending perspective. And then finally, Kirill Vejmelka out. Ingram is still on IR. Vejmelka has been great in his last 7. 934 save percentage. The goals against hasn't always been pretty, and the wins are here and there as they continue to be more or less a 500-ish team. But Vejmelka's been great in terms of facing a ton of shots and having a really, really dominant save percentage. He's been fantastic. 11% owned. Pick him up. He's getting a ton of volume on top of that. So highly recommend you guys grab him if you need a goalie. That's going to do for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. More content coming to the channel soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Good luck in your week 9 of fantasy hockey.